Good evening to all of you, and thank you for joining us on 13 Plus. I'm Mary Coleman. Hope you're having a great Tuesday evening so far. Well, people often accuse cities of using police departments to write tickets as a way to generate revenue for them. Our national investigative team looked into how one city fought to put an end to this practice.
Traffic tickets can generate serious cash for cities across the country. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. In Georgia, civil rights experts believe state law enables cash-strapped cities to use their officers to generate revenue at the expense of trust in law enforcement. When similar cases unfolded in a neighboring state, Alabama officials took action to stop its departments from boosting budgets with fines from traffic citations.
Investigative reporter Andy Parati takes an in-depth look at what they did to rein in the practice.
Alarming claims in the town of Brookside, allegations of illegal policing and racial profiling.
You want me to explain this to you?
Brookside's police chief resigned after allegations of improper and excessive traffic stops and policing.
They were literally being tossed out of their cars, on the street, vehicles taken, had to walk to safety.
We're gonna deal with this, brother. We're gonna deal with this. What's your name?
I think
What's your name?
they were looking for easy targets.
Alexis Thomas takes us back to the day she and her mother, Shakitha, were arrested by officers in Brookside, Alabama in 2022. Both sent to jail, both their cars towed and impounded, costing them thousands of dollars. Pulled over because her mother's car had a broken tag light.
What's going through your mind?
Oh my God, I was terrified. What is really going on here?
According to a pending class action lawsuit, the city allegedly deployed its police department not to protect the public, but to generate revenue, boosting its budget 640% with fines and forfeitures in 2 years, purchasing this armored vehicle and naming its department's canine Cash.
Something's not right.
Wandalyn Givan is a member of the Alabama House of Representatives, whose district includes Brookside. After receiving thousands of complaints, she helped pass a new state law 2 years ago, capping the amount of traffic citation revenue cities can collect at 10% of their budgets. Ticket revenue generated above that sent to a state-run crime victims compensation fund. The legislation received bipartisan support in a Republican-led legislature.
I had law enforcement agencies literally calling me from across the state of Alabama and throughout the nation to say, listen, we're good cops. We're not bad cops. Those are bad cops.
And Brookside was the catalyst for this legislation.
Absolutely. Brookside exists everywhere. There's a Brookside in every state.
300 miles away, ticketed drivers share similar outrage about a small police department in Lenox, Georgia, that generates even more revenue from traffic citations.
Like they were looking for charges to stack upon us.
It's crazy. I mean, they're pulling people over left and right.
It definitely seemed like he was coming after me. I was a cash cow.
We uncovered nearly 73% of Lenox's budget came from traffic fines in 2022. To put that in perspective, Brookside's fines and forfeitures made up around 49% of its budget before Alabama changed the law. While state law enforcement can revoke speed detection permits if it can prove cities are writing excessive speeding tickets for profit, Georgia does not cap the amount of revenue municipalities can collect from traffic citations.
To put it shortly, Georgia's state laws incentivize municipalities to use their police departments and their code enforcers to police for profit and for taxation by citation.
Jabasitu Ashvili is an attorney with the Institute for Justice. According to this report produced by the civil rights organization, Georgia ranks as the worst state in the country with laws that enable or encourage taxation through citation, largely because municipalities operate their own traffic courts.
So this is wholly counterproductive to the notion of police protecting and serving, and instead turns police into revenue collectors for themselves and for the town.
We uncovered Lenox is among 17 cities in the state that rely on 25% or more of their budgets from traffic citation revenue, the majority in South Georgia, including Warwick, Morven, and Poland.
The tax base for rural Georgia is declining.
Attorney Tommy Coleman represents some of those South Georgia cities.
Cities and counties in Georgia and other places ought to be able to master of their own destiny. They ought to be able to control their own revenue. And
when you look at the numbers, do you think that this impacts trust in law enforcement?
Well, I'm sure it does for the people who've gotten the ticket.
They are supposed to protect us, serve and protect us.
Back in Brookside, Alabama, a judge dropped all of the charges against Jakeitha and her daughter, but the damage was already done.
It made me really, really not like the police. I'm just gonna be honest.
I'm nervous all the time.
I was finna say, every time I go anywhere, I'm nervous. I don't want, if a police get behind me, I instantly have to record.
A department accused of taking advantage of its authority, impacting trust in law enforcement, something Alabama lawmakers addressed to prevent from happening again. While its neighboring state has yet to take action.
We reached out to attorneys representing the city of Brookside, but did not hear back. At least one Georgia lawmaker tells me he wants to find a legislative solution in response to our investigation. In Atlanta, I'm Andy Parati.
A closer look at that report from the Institute for Justice shows West Virginia, Rhode Island, South Carolina, and Montana all follow Georgia as the worst states in the country with laws that enable or encourage taxation through citation.
Another way Georgia cities are generating money, school zone speed detection cameras. They issue more than 1,200 tickets a day in the state. And while law enforcement officials say the cameras are designed to protect children and save lives, we've uncovered money may be the real motive.
We can see year by year the amount of money that we're generating, so that tells me that it doesn't work.
Is this taxation through citation?
Absolutely.
That's the mayor of South Fulton, where drivers have paid $14 million in camera fines, more than any other city in the state of Georgia. The mayor says he plans to use some of the camera citation revenue to install speed bumps, which he believes work better.
The difference between speed bumps and traffic cameras is that one costs money and one makes money.
But are the cameras making Georgia roads safer? According to NHTSA, pedestrian fatalities in Georgia have steadily increased since 2018 when the cameras were installed, although it's not broken down by community or school zone. The number of school-age child deaths is nearly unchanged year to year. The vast majority are at night when school is.
Thanks so much for joining us this evening. We'll leave you with a live look from our Mount Bigelow camera where things are looking chilly out there. We hope you're staying warm and will join us for 13 News Live at 10 for more of your news and weather. Have a great night, friends.